Hey Gents fans, Matt Sosler here, and I am joined by head coach Bryan Erikson following the Generals' 4-3 win over the New Jersey Titans. Coach, what are some of your initial reactions to this one?
I thought it was obviously a much-needed win. Our goals are sweeping series going forward, and when you lose 6-1 last night, and you challenge the guys to bounce back. They did a really good job. The one hand, I didn't think we played 6-1 bad. I thought we had a lot of chances. I thought we didn't play a terrible game. We just took terrible times to take terrible penalties. We saw that carry over a little bit tonight. The first half of the game, took some dumb penalties, gave up power play goals, and then we kind of buttoned it up, pulled ourselves together, and we were able to get some contributions from some 2000s. We got to get some contributions from some new guys that Matt Dibble brought in. It's nice to have some balanced scoring for once, and Hugo is Hugo.
And you mentioned balanced scoring. There are a few goals I want to highlight from tonight's game. Starting off with Jonathan Young, he's been pretty consistent. I believe he has a point streak of 3 games now. What are some of your thoughts on his play over the past few games?
Yeah, Jonathan Young, I think we've talked about him in the past about how, hard we've worked and he's worked on making him a 200-foot player. And part of that has come with some drop-off in his scoring. He's always been a kid that can score goals, always a kid that can, affect the game offensively. And he's had a hard kind of transition from going from a guy that forechecks his butt off to finishing every hit to then figuring out how to also contribute and put it in the net. And it hasn't been lack of chances, but he's just, finding more ways to be, even on his goal tonight. He just went really hard to the net on a design 3-on-2 play. He zipped it over Olsen. Ricky made a great pass to Olsen. Olsen wheeled. Olsen made a great pass to Younger, tipped it in, right? But that whole play starts with Ricky Boyson. And ultimately, Jonathan Young does his job. And last night, we have a set play out of on a power play. We run the set play perfectly. Younger buries the top corner, right? So it's nice to see Younger getting rewarded for a kid that works so hard.
And you mentioned the last time that we spoke that big-time players need to step up, and one guy who we've been waiting to see emerge on the score sheet in quite some time is Dylan Schuett. He had a key goal, the equalizer, in the third period. Walk me through that play and what it means to have a guy step up like that.
Yeah, to be honest, I challenged Dylan. I dressed him as a 13th forward. He got one shift in the first period, one shift in the second period. And then, we had a little bit of an injury, and he went in and played a regular shift in the third period. And, captains and good players, respond to getting, kind of put in their place. And the one thing that he did that was unbelievable in the first and second period was, he was a cheerleader for his teammates. Like, you could mope and you could sulk and you could do all that. Sometimes it's embarrassing. You're the captain, you're committed, and you're the 13th forward. There's a message to be sent. And instead of, sulking and moping, he ended up waiting for his time. He got his opportunity and he put one on, and he's stayed off the score sheet. And I think he's gotten away from, what's made him successful. And tonight was a big step back. Like nobody works harder, and for us, it's about working smarter. He's taken a lot of penalties lately, and, it's nice to see him affect the game offensively. To me, the biggest way to tell a coach that you made a mistake is to score and make me eat my words. And, I couldn't be prouder of him for doing that and for affecting the game in the way that he did. He's a great kid. He's a great captain, and he's going to be a great get for LAU.
And lastly, the last one I want to go through is the game winner from Jake Hazu, a no-angle to negative angle shot possibly. And from my own eyes, he's been doing pretty well over the last few games. He's had sort of an interesting season. What are some of your thoughts on his play over the past few games and his season as a whole?
Yeah, Jake Hazu, right? He's a kid that is, I'm sure nobody is listening to this, meaning of the kids that I'm going to be talking to, but for kids that are in such a hurry to have success at that highest level, so Jake's a perfect example. He's a tender kid that we were really high on. He struggled a little bit with consistency in the beginning of the year, so we sent him to the NA3 team. Obviously we asked him if that's something that he would do. He said gladly. He's played 18 games. He's played NA3 games. We got short of the D. We affiliated him. We brought him back up. He played 4 in a row. He's just in that path of, he's got irrational confidence in a good way. Like, he's not cocky. He's not overconfident. He just believes in his abilities, and he believes in the Generals and the system, and he takes coaching very well. Probably one of the most popular guys in all the locker rooms, the 18 locker room, 3 locker room, the NA locker room. And, he's a funny kid, but he's a genuinely great kid. And, he chirps and he's kind of a rat out. I would hate to play against him. I would hate to coach against him. And for him to, wheel up behind the D and get a one, it's insane that he's in that position. But two, good players find a way to get the puck in their stick and in important situations. And Jake, it's the second goal of the year. And I'm real proud of him. I'm proud of how he stuck it out. I mean, he's been for a number of years. He's going to be a leader for us down the road. But, this year he's going to have to do his time in the NA3, do his time bouncing back between teams in the NA. And, for us, there's still holes in his game because he is offensive and sometimes he can be reckless. But, you saw the full range of Jake Hazu today. He, slashed the kid in the back of the legs. He passed the puck through the middle of the ice, was picked off. Then he, made a great hit. Then he made a great pass and he scored a goal. He literally runs the gamut of emotions every game. And, we Division I hockey player that, ultimately, just needs to be refined and needs to be kind of calmed down and can't really be rooting for a kid any harder than I do or the other kids do. And, Matt Dibble's here in Jersey with us. And, he even just said, you always defended Jake. And I had never seen him play because, he got hired when Jake was on the NA3 team. And he goes, I get it. I get the whole I get why you defended him. I get why you want to play him. He just affects the game in a positive way every time he's out there. So, very proud of him, very happy for Jake. And, I know he won't have a big head, and we're going to need him in Maine. So we'll bring him up to Maine with us next week, and hopefully he does.
And lastly, moving on, you got Maine this upcoming weekend. You haven't seen them in quite some time, even though you've played them quite the amount of times. What are some of your goals in practice this week and then heading into next week in Maine?
Yeah, I mean, our main focus is when we forecheck effectively, we win games. When we don't forecheck effectively, we lose games. So ultimately, our focus is going to be on our forecheck. Our focus is going to be on we're getting in on their punishing their D, making them turn pucks over. We're better, obviously. I mean, I think every team's better when they play in their offensive zone than in the defense. But ultimately, I think if we can get in on that forecheck and, beat up guys like Antonacci and Sterling, who are ridiculous, still good players, we have a chance, but they have goalie that can also keep them, keep pucks out of the net. We don't want to attract meat like they do. We want to get pucks in deep and we want to wear them down, and I think that, the guys bring the same energy and the same focus, then I would, I'm very, optimistic about the weekend. At the same time, we got a big work week ahead of us. And so we got to get back to work on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, get ready for Maine on Friday.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much. Get some rest. I'm sure it's been a very exhausting period of time. You've had 4 games in 5 days. Get some rest, safe travels, and good luck in practice this week and then heading into Maine next week.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Take care.